Viewers, the Enforcement Directorate has attached assets allegedly worth rupees 752 crores of the Gandhi family-controlled company called Young Indian and Associated Journals Ltd. The Enforcement Directorate claims that the properties are proceeds of crime. That's how they have designated these properties. It says that these properties are possessed by the Gandhi family and that this is an illegal appropriation of public wealth. ED also says that the Associated Journals Ltd owns immovable properties worth 662 crores. AJL's or the Associated Journals immovable assets across Delhi, Mumbai and Lucknow. ED says Young Indians owns AJL equity shares worth over 90 crores, and taken together that number 752 crores. Now the properties attached by the ED are some of the nation's most iconic buildings, viewers. And I will show you some of those. A glance at those buildings will tell you that they are indeed extremely valuable because they are landmarks in their own right. The Nehru Bhavan in Lucknow, Uttar Pradesh, National Herald House, the ITO, and the AJL House, which is the Associated Journal House in Mumbai. All of them have been now appropriated. And viewers, these buildings were bought after AJL was formed. And as you know, the AJL, viewers, used to be the publisher of the National Herald. We'll come to all of that. But all of these properties now are sealed. They are in the custody of the Enforcement Directorate as denoted proceeds of crime. The Enforcement Directorate says that the Gandhis conspired with their closest acolytes to enrich themselves. That in 2010, the Gandhis floated a company called Young Indian. The Gandhis, that are Sonia and Rahul, ensured that they held a 76% majority stake in the company. The Enforcement Directorate points out that Young Indian was set up with a capital of just a few lakh rupees. In a matter of months, the ED claims Young Indian spent this pittance to acquire a company that had assets of at least 752 crores. The acquired company is a not-for-profit entity called Associated Journals Ltd, set up pre-independence by the Nehru-led Congress party through public donations. This is a well-known fact, viewers. The purpose of this company was to publish the iconic National Herald newspaper. The ED has established that Associated Journals Ltd was ripe for the taking. In 2008, it had shut shop, claiming it had no money to publish the newspaper. The Congress party, under the presidentship of Sonia Gandhi, loaned rupees 90 crores to bail out Associated Journals Ltd. But when the company defaulted on the loan, the Congress party wrote the rupees 90 crore debt off. But it didn't stop there. Instead of diluting AJL's assets to recover the rupees 90 crore debt, of course, that is what most often happens, viewers. If a company goes bankrupt, you sell its assets so that you can pay its shareholders back or those who have loaned it money. But not in this case. Viewers, in this case, the Congress party decided to transfer the loan liability to Young Indians. Astoundingly, the Gandhi-led Young Indians paid a mere rupees 50 lakhs to the Congress for the share transfer. Simply put, the Gandhis netted equity in a company with assets of at least rupees 752 crores, conservatively speaking, by paying just 50 lakhs. But the Gandhis struck a deal so sweet that it left a bitter taste in the mouth. A private complaint led to a case. The CBI and the Income Tax Agency department looked at the details and they smelt a rat. The ED then swooped in. Essentially, the agencies found that the Gandhi-owned company Young Indians told Associated Journals Ltd that they would arrange for a rupees 90 crore loan to bail it out. One of the directors of Young Indian, called Motilal Vora, who was also the treasurer, incidentally, of the Sonia Gandhi-led Congress, arranged for the party to cough up rupees 90 crores. In exchange for the loan, Vora told Associated Journals Ltd that it would have to transfer all its shares in the name of Young Indian. The genius of the scheme lay in the fact that the chairman of Associated Journals Ltd was also Motilal Vora. In other words, viewers, Vora not only supplied the rupees 90 crore loan acting as Congress treasurer, but Vora is director of Young India, was issuing orders to Vora himself, that is, as he was also chairman of Associated Journals Ltd. So he was involved in all three entities. None of these facts are denied by the Congress. The Gandhis in fact insist that they weren't in on the details, and Vora, who is now incidentally dead, took all the decisions. Now the crackdown by the Enforcement Directorate has led to a massive face-off. Watch some of the reactions, viewers.
2008 में 90 करोड़ रुपया लोन दिया था कांग्रेस पार्टी ने एसोसिएट जर्नल को, जो नेशनल हेरल्ड पब्लिश करता था। तो 90 करोड़ वापस देना था। तो कहा गया कि 90 करोड़ हम तुमको माफ कर देंगे, तुम्हें कुछ काम करना पड़ेगा। का क्या करना है? का पूरा शेयर 99% फैमिली को ट्रांसफर करना है। तो बताएं कैसे करेंगे? तो बस बिना बाकी शेयर होल्डर्स का कंसेंट दिए हुए एक यंग इंडिया बनता है पब्लिक। नाम क्या दिया? यंग इंडिया। और डायरेक्टर कौन? 36% राहुल गांधी, 36% सोनिया गांधी।
National Herald is an organization which has been fighting against the Britishers in the freedom movement. We all know that the RSS and its organizations were supporting the BJP, the Britishers. Now the same RSS and its organizations led by Mr. Modi is taking away the National Herald properties through the illegal action of ED.
But the war of words cannot hide some obvious hard facts that the courts haven't really given the Gandhis any substantial relief. Viewers, let's look at the Delhi High Court first. In 2015, it said modus operandi adopted by petitioners evidences criminal intent. There is a clear case to summon petitioners as accused. The petitioners, of course, being the Gandhis, they had moved the Delhi High Court to quash this entire investigation. Questionable conduct of petitioners needs to be properly examined. Viewers, the Delhi High Court in 2018 was even more scathing. It said the AJL, Associated Journals Ltd, the publisher of the National Herald, was asked to vacate Herald House in 2 weeks. Questionable takeover of AJL by Young Indian. Dominant purpose for lease to AJL practically lost. Allegations of mala fide are preposterous. Fail to understand how ruling dispensation defamed Nehru. Viewers, all of this was put out. Then, of course, came the ITAT, the Income Tax Appellate Tribunal. That also, viewers, passed strictures against, in fact, Young Indian, asking him to cough up in excess of 200 crores as tax owned. Yes, viewers, it's on your screens. Directorship details hidden in tax statement that the Gandhis did not even declare that they were the directors. Income tax proceedings against Young India for 249 crores. Young India moved the High Court seeking a stay on tax proceedings, viewers. All of this is being playing out. The High Court rejected the appeal, ordered Young Indian to pay 10 crores. And the matter, of course, is now in the Supreme Court also, viewers. And there also the Supreme Court has said that the Gandhis must face the full probe. The Congress, of course, dismisses these allegations. It dismisses pretty much everything that has been said. The party claims that no predicate offense is made out and the probe is driven purely by political vendetta. The courts will ultimately, of course, viewers, decide whether this cozy arrangement was illegal. But there's no doubt that the circularity of the scheme smacks of an unhealthy coterie culture that has bred opacity and cronyism. The rupees 90 crores used as a loan, a facilitator's fee of sorts, came from the Congress coffers collected from the public's donations to the Congress party. In a more morally informed system, the Associated Journal Limited's assets built on the edifice of public donations should have been sold to not just service the broke company's debts, but also distributed as dividend to its original non-Gandhi family shareholders. But that didn't happen, viewers. As I told you, when a company goes broke, its assets are sold. And the shareholders get, and the people who have loaned money, the creditors, they get the money back, or at least a substantial chunk of it. However, in this case, it all goes in a circular way back to the Gandhi family. Optically, the National Herald newspaper saga prompts the question, is what is the parties is also the parivars in the Congress system? That question, viewers, will be posed tonight to our panel, and that is a debate that is sponsored by Motorola. The big question on your screens.
Moto.
And right after that, viewers, let's open it up for an informed debate, a debate with individuals, at least a few of whom are stakeholders in this entire issue. The other larger question, is this fig leaf of timing that is being constantly pushed in our faces by the Congress party a credible defense? I want to first start with one individual who has been associated with this case from the very beginning. Remember, it was Dr. Subramanian Swamy who brought this matter, and it was not at that time, viewers, let me tell you, the NDA government in power. When this case was first brought on the back of a complaint filed by Dr. Subramanian Swamy, and he's been an anti-corruption crusader for long. It was a Congress that was in power, and the courts took this on board, and that's where the ball started rolling. And Ishkaran Bhandari assisted him in this case. Ishkaran Bhandari is here with us. First, Ishkaran Bhandari, just put this case into perspective. Why is it really a albatross, according to the BJP, around the Gandhi family's neck? Why do you think there is a problem here?
Rahul, there are two problems in this case for the Congress family. First, this case has gone through three courts: the trial court, the high court, the Supreme Court. The trial court issued the process. The high court, they went to get the process quashed. The high court did not give relief, and you have quoted some paragraphs here. And also the Supreme Court refused to grant them relief because they wanted this to be stayed and then to be quashed. That did not happen. So the highest court of the land felt they have something to answer on criminal charges which they have to answer, which is proceeding. That's the first part. The second aspect is this is all documentary. This is not oral evidence. Documents have been signed. The first allegation is that 90 crore was transferred from Congress to AJL. Firstly, even that has to be shown, because that could not have been given cash. That has to be bank entries. Have those bank entries been established? The income tax orders are not in their favor, but I'm not going into that right now. The second aspect is, if supposing, Rahul, you loan it, or any of your viewers loans money to somebody, what do? You either you send a legal notice to recover the money, or you go to case to file a money recovery suit, or you file a winding up petition against a company. Was any of these steps known to law resorted to recover money from AJL? None in this case were resorted. So what you do is, you have a kitchen cabinet, you decide that we will waive off this alleged loan of 90 crore rupees, but you do not waive it off. You do not get the ownership to Congress. Traditionally, if you have loaned money, then the assets or the shares come to you, Congress. Congress is a separate juristic person. Congress is not equivalent to Young India, because the Congress, allegedly or supposedly or as per the constitution, the presidents can change. It is not a permanent post. So the AJL share do not come to Congress. If they came to Congress president, and in this case it has changed, will have disposal of that. What they do is create a special purpose vehicle. What is that vehicle? Controlled effectively by Sonia Gandhi and Rahul Gandhi. This vehicle then, for 50 lakh rupees, gets the right to recover the money, and as you have already said, Mr. Motilal Vora is no more. So he was the key person in all these organizations, and he decides to transfer it to Young India. And this same argument of it being a charitable company was raised in High Court. It went on for days. The High Court rejected it. The Supreme Court rejected it, because everybody understands who are the beneficiary owners. What is behind the corporate veil in criminal cases is a long established doctrine. So short of it is, it's a documentary case, and also the income tax order has Dotex, one company gave 1 crore. So even the 50 lakhs paid by Young India, that is also under scanner. Forget the amounts. So this, in a sense, is a documentary thing. The only problem I see is for ED to answer what it took them 8 years. This is all documented 8 years ago. So the timing
Okay.
issue will obviously arise because for 8 years, knowing all these facts, the ED did not act.
Now, let me bring in Tehseen Poonawalla and also Dr. Ranganathan and Alok. Also, the BJP's national spokesperson is with us, Ajay Alok. Now, Mr. Poonawalla, you have been a very, very robust defender of your family's basic claim. And you have come out with some very, very, very irrefutable arguments. But there is one which I have found you struggling to answer. And I want to pose that as a question. I want to ask you, was the AJL formed by donations by freedom fighters to launch an important newspaper that was going to carry nationalistic sentiments and be critical of the British Raj? If it is the case, yes, then how is it that the monies that should have been accrued to these freedom fighters ended up with the Gandhi family? If a company is failing and the company has some assets, those assets should have been diluted, and the worth of those assets, the monies recovered from those assets could have gone to pay off the creditor, but also the freedom fighters by the way of dividends. So I want to ask you, how is it that the terms were changed to benefit the Gandhis?
Wasn't changed to benefit the Gandhis. The Gandhis don't own a paisa. Why is a Section 25 not-for-profit company? And it's a very good question you pose, except for one fundamental mistake. But please allow me to also pinpoint on Ishkaran's two errors that Ishkaran makes.
Now, you're not answering my question. Now you're going
I will.
into
I'm answering yours first and then Ishkaran.
Okay.
So please allow me, don't block me. Number one, the Gandhis cannot. Yes. Young India does not own a single asset of AGL, not a single asset. It's a not-for-profit company. So hypothetically, even if something has to be sold, nothing is sold, nothing has been liquidated. But hypothetically, even if something tomorrow is sold or liquidated, as you said, the assets are minimum worth 700 crores conservatively, that money cannot go to the Gandhis. That can only go to AJL, period, and therefore by the shareholders, etc. It cannot go to the Gandhis. So the legitimate question therefore arises is, then why would the Gandhis convert this to shares? So conversion of debt to equity is a normal process which a political party cannot own equity shares. Hence, it was converted to Young India, a not-for-profit company. Now, third question that Ishkaran made. This is the fundamental mistake Ishkaran made. Ishkaran said Congress party. Sure, Ishkaran, you must. Ishkaran now says 90 crores was lent by the Congress party to AJL. Absolutely right. Between 2002 to 2011 in 100 installments, 90 crores was lent to, in 100 installments, 90 crores was lent to AJL. However, out of this 90 crores, 67 crores was used to pay off your colleagues, Rahul, in the media with their VRS, and the remaining was used to pay government taxes. This was not just duly disclosed in the Congress books. This is where Ishkaran was of accounts. On the letter dated 6/11/2012 written to Subramaniam Swamiji, Ishkaran's then boss, the Election Commission says very categorically, and I quote from the letter, not only has this been declared, it is the right of a political party to lend. The political party can't have shares. So this has been clarified, upheld by the courts as well. What the income tax is looking at is it's saying, okay, the 60 crores is an income for the Gandhis. That is what's being challenged, not this particular fact. Now for your last part of the issue. Rahul, I may not like you, for example, and I may want to hit you. Fair. But that's not a crime unless the act is already committed. You cannot prosecute somebody for saying, oh, they could have sold the assets. Are the assets sold? No, the assets are not sold. The assets remain where they are. In fact, Rahul, some of these assets which you valued at 700 crores are government assets. These are government things. How can you sell it? So in any case, it cannot be sold. Any asset sold will be the sole property of AJL. That's in the objective of YI. So when YI can't own a property, it's sold nothing. This is nothing but prosecution.
Nothing but prosecution. Two people have raised their hands to respond. First, Ishkaran Bhandari, since he took your name, and then Dr. Ranganathan, and then I want to bring in Ajay Alok to get into the political dimension of this. Yes. Yeah.
Tehseen can try to make a jalebi, but he will not succeed because of simple point. Every criminal trial is about lifting of corporate veil. Who owns the share? Otherwise, anybody with a company can never be prosecuted for breach of trust, for cheating, for forgery. None of these offenses, and daily every court in this country convicts the directors of a company. That is the basic law of this land. Second aspect, when you control the shares, you control the company. That is the corporate law since time immemorial. It might not fit your definition because the Gandhis own it, but the directors, they have the use of assets. The third aspect, all these properties are also put out on rent. What was the rent to loan equation? Has that been given? They are prime properties in prime area fetching prime loans. The fourth aspect of it is Young India. Why did you need to have a Young India controlled by Miss Sonia Gandhi and Mr. Rahul Gandhi? And lastly, charitable company argument has been rejected by the High Court. They wanted that argument to quash the summons. The High Court rejected it. You have read some paragraphs of the judgment. That has been rejected by High Court as well as Supreme Court. You can go to people who do not understand the law, try to confuse the issue, but the highest court of the land rejected this.
Okay, let's open this up.
Can I please answer him quickly? Can I please answer him quickly on those 2 points?
Yeah, just 10 seconds, please.
30 seconds, please. Why a new company was formed, a special purpose vehicle, SPV? Because the equity shares cannot be held by a political party. That's one of the rules of the thing. Point number 2 that Ishkaran says, Ishkaran doesn't answer one question. Where is the criminality? The assets lie as they are not sold. He says, oh, there's commercial activity taking place. Now, please understand, Rahul, commercial activity, as long as it's within the objectives of the company, and the objectives of the company was to spread the message that it's spread, and the newspapers coming out today cannot be objected to. So may I just simplify it? I'll take 30 seconds more and I'll end.
No. Okay, now hang on. This is, now we are getting into the minutiae.
Please allow me to simplify it and I'll end it. I won't take more time. Let's assume, Rahul, Ishkan, I'll just take 30 seconds. Let's assume, Rahul, a land is given to start a news channel. That news channel starts its functioning. However, the news channel outsources its canteen to, say, Haldiram's. That is a commercial activity, but as long as the objective of the news channel is being met and the directors of the news channel are not taking
do you know, sir, do you know that the newspaper had stopped?
And it restarted.
No, one second. Had stopped. And one second. It was restarted after the courts and the agencies began to look in under the bonnet and lift the corporate veil. So, it was an afterthought. Now, okay, now, gentlemen.
It was discussed.
Okay. Tehseen Punana. Okay, relax.
All these meetings happen at 15 GRG.
Right. 1 second. Let me just bring in Dr. Ranganathan. So, Dr. Ranganathan, what bothers many is also the presumption that what is the party's is also, or what is the public's is also the Parivar's. Now, you saw how Tehseen Poonawalla skirted the question I asked. Simple. If you were actually so invested in reviving this and safeguarding the interests of the stakeholders, sell the assets and give it back to the stakeholders, the original stakeholders. It didn't happen. Dr. Ranganathan.
Good evening, Rahul. Look, the bold appear brave till they are bought, and the crooks appear convincing till they are caught. The noose, Rahul, is well and truly tightening around the Gandhis. National Herald scam is as open and shut as it gets. It is the Kohinoor in the Congress crown of scams. In the latest version of Microsoft Word, if you right click on the word Congress, the first synonym that crops up is scam. So the question is not that the Congress is corrupt or indulging in scams. Of course it is. The scam glut is such that even Congress leaders get confused which Congress leader perpetrated which scam. Was Raja in National Herald? Was Kalmadi in Colgate? Was Natwar in Commonwealth? Was Chidambaram in 2G? The cup runneth over. No. The question is, when will the guilty be punished? And that is why I'm afraid the Congress is going to brazen this out. They know nothing is going to happen to them, and worse comes to worse. Rahul Gandhi will join the BJP. In any case, he's working for the BJP. Rahul, the incontrovertible fact is that in this country, you can fool all of the people all of the time. Now, it is important that I break down this scam in easy, digestible bits for your viewers because it's taken me time to digest it as well. So here is the summary. Just give me a couple of minutes. In 2008, National Herald newspaper that was launched by Jawaharlal Nehru in 1938 accumulated a debt of 90 crores because, quite frankly, no reader likes paying for fake news and propaganda. Congress offered 90 crore interest-free loan in quanta to Associated Journals Ltd running National Herald, but the attempt to bring back the newspaper failed. So in 2010, Young India Limited was set up, in which Sonia Gandhi and Rahul Gandhi held a majority share of 76%. Now remember, the Congress that had originally lent money to Associated Journals Limited now assigned the debt to Young India Limited, which meant that Associated Journals Limited had to pay back 90 crores to Young India Limited. But because Associated Journals Limited was not in a position to repay the loan, the company transfers its shareholding to Gandhi-owned Young India Limited, for which they receive only rupees 50 lakhs. So AJ Limited had real estate properties worth 2,000 crores, not only according to the then law minister, but also according to the trial court. That has been quoted by the High Court. ED has acted now. AJ is in possession of proceeds of crime through immovable properties worth 661.69 crores. And Young India is in possession of proceeds of crime to the tune of 90 crores in the form of investment in the shares of AJL. Let me explain this by way of analogy. Just 30 seconds. You, Rahul, though of another surname, Lord be praised, run into debt. Tehseen, my brother, comes forward and because he likes you, because he is filthy rich, lends you 90 crores. But unfortunately, the sum is not enough for you to tide over your debt. Tehseen tells you to forget about the 90 crores and asks you to sell to him your media house. You agree. Tehseen buys you out for 50 lakhs. The small print is that your media house, even though it was bankrupt, owns Latian's property worth 2,000 crores. So I repeat, the Gandhis allegedly pays 50 lakhs to buy a property worth 2,000 crores. Not only this, AJ Limited even took a loan to buy property in Panchkula by giving Herald House as collateral. How can it do this legally? Now I have 4 simple questions for my brother Tehseen. Just 4. Number 1, what is the shareholding of Rahul and Sonia Gandhi in Young Indian? 2, does Young Indian now own Associated Journals? 3, what is the total worth of properties owed by Associated Journals Limited? 4, who gave 50 lakhs to Young Indian so it could buy Associated Journals? 5, what was the need to have Herald House as collateral if you say no crime was committed? Just 4 questions, Tehseen. Please answer. Thank you.
Well,
May I please answer them? And,
no, I'll come back to you. I'll come back to you. I'll come back to you. Keep them, remember them, internalize them. I'll come. We're not running away. I want to bring in Ajay Alok. 1 second, boss. Relax. I want to bring in Ajay Alok. Just 30 seconds, please. Ajay Alok. Look, I find this strange that all this time, and Lokesh Jindal is also there. He's also sharpening his knife. So please, your answer has to be really sharp tonight to cut his sharp knife. So I have to ask you, Ajay Alok, this simple question. एक और election आया और ED इस केस पे गरम हो गया. All this while, the ED questioned the Gandhis 3 years ago at the height of COVID. In fact, Sonia Gandhi had to delay her appearance because she had COVID. उसके बाद ठंडे पड़े. अब ये क्या चक्कर है? Why is it taken 2.5 years conservatively to attach these properties?
First of all, Rahul, you must remember that ED cannot attach the property until and unless it gets the clearance from the court. The court gave the clearance. Now are you presuming that court is also looking election as a tool, that since elections is coming, so I am going to give permission now? It was absolutely a decision based on the court and on the merit that the ED got the permission yesterday and the properties were attached. Now, after hearing so much of synopsis, first from you, then from Tehseen, then from Anand, one thing is very clear to your viewers, that's what's happening. It's simple a matter of greed. I'll tell you, this is a hypothalamic disorder in brain where you just keep on overeating, you don't get satisfied. So this hypothalamic disorders of Gandhi's of eating money is not stopping. This is the problem. And this they have been doing for the last 70 years, but still the hunger doesn't die. That is the problem. And sense of propriety, that how can I be questioned? How can Gandhi be questioned? How can ED come to Gandhi? This feeling is so much inherent. And in their ecosystem, that people like Tehseen and all, they will just start blowing whistles for no reasons. ED is a national institution carrying out its duty. It was formed by Jawaharlal Nehru after the Jeep scandal, and it was only meant for checking of the money laundering and everything. Now in this case, we are having links with Hawala operators, we are having links with income tax evasions, we are having link where is the fund generated 50 lakhs, they are not able to answer, that where Young India got that 50 lakhs which they paid. There are so many questions, legalities attached to it. Why linked it with political rivalry and everything? This case has been going on, and you understand the judicial process of this country takes so long. Lalu Yadav was accused in 1995 and he was convicted in 2012. These are the kind of the judicial reforms we want to do, what Mr. Amit Shah, Home Minister, recently came up with, that justice delayed is justice denied. I sincerely feel that this case should have been long back, should have taken a course almost 5-6 years back, but then our process, judicial process is such that it takes time, and that's what it's doing. And yesterday after court court's order, the ED attached the properties.
Okay.
Now the problem is they have to come clean. The onus lies on them. They are not coming clean on it. They are rather using this as a tool that it's a political witch hunting and all this crap, which is not going to come true because it's technical things. Like what Ishikaran said, that everything is documented and everything is documented fact, and in court of law documented facts do matter, and based on that evidence they will be booked and they will be sentenced in the days to come. Then they will again shout, it's a rivalry. Who had asked you? Why can't you hunger die? Stop for having more and more and more and more asset and more money. But you will eat money or what? This is ridiculous actually.
Okay.
Now,
So,
legal point?
so one second, Lokesh Jindal, let me, one second. We are first looking at the political point. The legal point you can answer because Dr. Ranganathan has posed 4 questions. Ishkaran Bhandari has also posed 1. I had posed 1 which you didn't answer, which thank goodness Dr. Ranganathan has reiterated. So let me just quickly bring in Mr. Lokesh Jindal, who represents also the Congress point of view. Now the BJP spokesperson, the question of timing has been resolved by him by asking a simple question of you. Are the courts also timing their orders to elections, Mr. Jindal? And by claiming so, are you today in contempt of court?
Rahul, first of all, can my dear friend tell me what is the paid up capital of Associated Journals Ltd? It is 91.31 crore. And the 90 crore that Indian National Congress lended to AJL was an unsecured loan. It was not a secured loan. What happened was, Young Indian, it took over the entire debt from AJL. The question that was raised, that this entire transaction was undervalued. The debt that was taken over by Young Indian was undervalued.
So
I want to ask
I asked you a very
BJP
straight
counterpart a
question. Don't get into the technicalities right now. You answer the most basic question. The layman wants to know the answer to this. I asked that question directly of Ajay Alok. I said, look, the Congress is constantly emphasizing this point कि आप ठंडे बैठ जाते हैं. Both Gandhis were, as you know, questioned, quizzed by the ED 2 years ago. Nothing happened. Now another round of elections has come. And because you are upset by what Rahul Gandhi has been saying and you're losing the elections, as Mr. Kharge has said, you have gone after the Gandhis by attaching these properties. If they don't belong to them, I don't understand how the Gandhis are being singled out here. I don't know why they are being affected. But anyhow, still, that's one strange contradiction there. But nonetheless, let me ask you, Lokesh Jindal, do the courts which passed this order yesterday, empowering the ED to do what it did, are they also setting their clock by the election cycle? It's a straightforward question.
Well, the courts, they will respond to whatever the ED files and they will do their job. But look at the selectivity of the Enforcement Directorate. Now in 2021, when Central Electronics Limited, which was supplying defense material, was handed over to Nandal Finance. Now Central Electronics Limited, which had a net worth of 1600 crores, was handed over at 210 crores. The matter has been put forth before Delhi High Court. But is ED interested in looking into this matter? No. Is the High Court interested in issuing orders for this? No. What is happening over here, Rahul, is whenever there are elections on the card and the BJP is facing defeat, whenever BJP is facing tough times to come up with some form of ideology or some form of a basis, it comes up with unearthing or manufacturing scams.
Okay. Now viewers, we are not getting the right answer here. Lokesh Jindal has again changed the goalpost and he's entitled to do that. That if the Congress wants to do it, they are entitled to do it. But I just want to very quickly draw your attention to the one complete order that has come, and that has come from the ITAT, which is the Income Tax Appellate Tribunal. The tribunal's order dated November 15th, viewers. And remember, we are going back 4 years now in time. What did it do? It ratified the income tax. Excuse me, 1 second. It ratified the income tax order of cancelling the charitable activities exemption certificates. Reiterates the fact that both Sonia Gandhi and Rahul Gandhi controlled Young Indian, committed a series of misdemeanors by taking over the assets of AJL. That is what basically, viewers, is being said. After cancelling the tax exemption certificate, income tax therefore then went up and fined the Gandhis, young Indian controlled Gandhis, 249 crores or 250 crores. So Tehseen Poonawalla, the question then arises, and that's the first question that Dr. Ranganathan posed to you. Can you deny that young Indians is controlled, the shareholders, the majority shareholders are Gandhis, and that they were hiding behind a exemption that has been struck down by the ITAT to defraud the nation? It's a simple question, sir.
All right, it's a simple answer. Yes, this has been struck down, no doubt about it. That's an appellate tribunal order. That it's a wrong order, I absolutely think it's wrong. It's done terrible. It's a terrible order. And no, the Gandhis are not hiding behind it, because though the Gandhis or these people, including Suman Dubey, control young Indians, they cannot take a single paisa out of AJ Home, because it's a not-for-profit company. To further my point, giving Anand's example.
Okay, so tell me, where did the rental income, where does all the income go? Where did it go?
And if I
This
can
is not
just
true.
elaborate,
That rental income.
Tehseen, 10 seconds. Tehseen, just 10 seconds.
Sure, but Anand, what happens is every time I'm on a roll, Ajayji is not stock.
Okay, one question from.
If I'm on a roll, it doesn't come across.
Okay,
so
okay,
please,
respond.
Because the viewers don't understand. The viewers, the perception for the viewers is we don't have answers.
Right.
Then we are giving you answers. So please allow me.
Okay.
That rental income goes into young Indians, which carries out their activities for National Herald, the paper that's coming out. However, no dividend or profit or income can go to the shareholders, that is Gandhis, or to Motilal Vora or to Suman Dubey. It simply cannot. It's a Section 25 not-for-profit company. Therefore, the order of the income tax is simply wrong. It is a wrong order. It's a terrible order in law. But let me go one more point further and take Anand's example with Rahul further.
Income tax is wrong. Court is wrong.
It's actually wrong.
ED is wrong.
Yes,
only
they are.
Gandhis
Yes,
correct.
yes. No, it's a terrible order.
Okay, one
It's a
second. Let's
terrible
go.
order.
Okay, so you've
But
said
allow
that
me
the
to-
order
allow
is
me to
wrong.
get it.
Two people will respond to that. One, Dr. Ranganathan had a question, and then after that, on this defense that the court was egregiously wrong, Ishkaran Bhandari will come in. Yes, Dr. Ranganathan.
Yes. You know, my philosophy is Occam's razor, Rahul. When you want to do dissection, you pin the person down. So let me not worry about 5 answers from my brother Tehseen.
Okay.
Let him just answer 2 simple questions. Number 1.
Okay.
Who gave 50 lakhs to Young Indian so it could buy Associated Journals? Who gave 50 lakhs? And number 2, when it is severely debt ridden, why on earth did AJ buy a property in Panchkula, giving Herald House as collateral? Please explain these 2 questions, bhai.
All right. Number 1, the company that you're alluding to, which the BJP keeps referring to as a shell company / Hawala company, is owned by the Goenkas. Number 1, that is a loan not just taken on paper. As Ishkaran said, it's not a cash transaction declared in the Congress book of accounts. Point number 2, and before I go third, one more point. The AJL and the Y objectives are same, absolutely similar. Taking this further, for the expansion of National Herald, a property was got in Panchkula. There is nothing wrong in that. That property cannot, neither the Panchkula property, neither. I'll explain.
No,
I'll
this is
explain to
weird.
you if you allow.
Would you
No,
not want?
It's not weird.
Okay.
It's not.
A broke company
AJL
that might have capital should be paying
It has
back
an
the
asset.
creditors, or should be going in expansionist mode and taking
okay,
on
Rahul,
more risk and
okay,
also
Rahul,
pledging
it paid-
what is
Rahul, it
supposed to
paid
be
back the
collateral
creditors.
somewhere else.
No, it paid back the creditors via its conversion of loan to equity.
Right.
Now, after that, there was an expansion.
And who are the
program
creditors,
that-
viewers? Who are the
Congress
creditors?
Party. The Congress Party.
And
The
it goes
Congress Party.
in circles.
How does it go?
You don't even need to
Explain to me,
sell,
how does it go?
viewers. You don't need to sell
does
this.
it go?
Sub
1 second.
एक ecosystem में है. Okay, Ishkan Bhandari wants to respond to you on this point. Yes, Ishkan.
Rahul, as I started by saying, Diwali is over. Tehseen should make less jalebi because the viewer is way too intelligent to understand all this or to believe all this. What a tangled web we weave when we first practice to deceive squarely applies on them. Firstly, is factually wrong. that loan was taken by Young India, not by Congress, because the Young India paid to Congress.
Yes.
So the loan which came to Dotex was from there. Second aspect, why was somebody loaning to a charitable, not-for-profit startup? What was the reason behind that? That
Yes.
has also gone to the income tax order. Who will loan 1 crore to a charitable company which has no business? Either you give donation to them or you waive it off. You are giving them a loan. Second aspect of it. The third aspect, we all understand how NGOs function. Your travel, your hotel, your booking, all that can be done for a director legally, validly. That would have been done or not done because the scam was caught in its exception only. The fourth aspect of it is that anybody who controls the shares of a company in effect controls that company. That is why we have the entire concept of corporate veil, which Tehseen understands fully well, but in this case it will lead to an unfortunate consequences, so he doesn't want to. And last point,
Let me-
even
1 second.
before the
Please
charitable
allow me to
certificate
reply.
was cancelled, just last point, even before the charitable certificate was cancelled, the High Court said, even if it's a charitable company, the way you have done, you have to answer in the trial court because prima facie crime is established. That was before cancellation of certificate.
Quick
Please allow
one.
me to answer.
Quick one. I'm running out of time.
Two quick
Yes.
points. The rest of it is unimportant.
Okay.
He says, why does a company give a non-profit company a loan and does not give it charity? Had it been charity, you would have said, oh, this is a bribe. They've taken a loan, we paid a loan. Now that come to a big argument. Second, Ishkaran's own language. Something could have happened or could not have happened. That does not constitute a crime. You are
Okay.
either pregnant or not pregnant. You could have been pregnant is not pregnancy.
Okay.
That is
Okay.
fantasy of being pregnant.
Okay, viewers,
So there
look,
is
the
no
matter
crime
is now,
committed.
the matter is now before the Supreme Court. That, I must underline once again, is giving no respite. Now, my central thought to you is, I don't know why we are rebuking the Gandhis. They have actually been able to, with 50 lakhs, get at least assets worth 750 crores. They should be celebrated in business schools. There should be a textbook study of how to take over companies through a hostile takeover without spilling even a drop of blood. I think that's where we need to be with this. Put that in the back of your heads. Process that. I'm coming back because viewers, it's going now too far. It's going now too far.